So welcome to our first Holophon workshop in this 2021 series. Thank you to Multiplay for funding the workshops this year. I just wanted to acknowledge that because we're in Regina, we're on Treaty 4 territory and traditional territory of the Cree and the Saulteaux, Assiniboine, and traditional homeland of the Métis. I also wanted to promote the workshop next week, Extraordinary Sounds in ASMR by Hilary Cowan, who's joining us tonight. Hilary, do you want to say anything about your workshop? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
I didn't have anything
that's
prepared.
okay. You just show your face, and people will
Yes.
know who you are. So
Hello.
just hi.
Hi, Hillary.
No, but I'm looking forward to it. Just if people want to bring any objects that they're curious about or that they think have some type of potential, and we'll just have fun together.
Brilliant.
Sounds good. Tonight, Ernie Dulanowsky is going to be talking us through streaming. So I'll just say that Ernie is an electronic music performer from Regina, Saskatchewan. Ernie uses hardware-based workflow with both homemade and commercial electronics to create ambient drone and noise pieces. Some of his compositions can be found on his Instagram, Ernst Pulsewidth and pulsewidth.bandcamp.com.
Did you mean SoundCloud?
SoundCloud. I'm gonna make Ernie the host.
Cool.
You can take it away.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. I think I'm going to try and find my presentation here and start sharing a screen. There we go. Aha. Okay, so tonight's presentation workshop is about streaming audio or streaming in general for performance and collaboration. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask at any time. Just dip right in and ask something. Go ahead. And so we're living in rather odd times, as we all know, for about a year now. So how can performances happen because you can't get together? How can collaborations or jams happen? Again, because you can't get together with people and work on things. Pandemic restrictions necessitate engagement via telecommunications. Good thing we have the internet to help us out with a lot of this stuff. We're kind of doing a thing like that right now with this Zoom meeting. So software like Zoom and others can be used to disseminate performances or enable people to collaborate in a group, even though they're in disparate locations. So that's kind of a cool thing. But you do need a bit of stuff to get going to do these things, like some of the obvious stuff like a computer, which pretty much everybody has. Mobile devices can work in a pinch, but I found that with some of the software that people use, the options available for tuning things like audio and for tuning some other parameters simply aren't there on mobile devices. So it's probably better to use a computer if you're going to do this kind of thing. And then an audio interface is very handy. Now, if I can get back to, I'm going to stop sharing again here briefly. And so if you see my screen there, what you will see is a desk full of my junk and an audio interface. This one's by Steinberg. It's pretty generic. A number of inputs, a number of outputs connected to your computer, and you can get various audio signals in. Some people may not actually have something like that because their work simply doesn't require that kind of thing. But a lot of people have handheld recorders. So the other possibility, especially like in particular Zoom audio recorders, um, have the added feature that allows them to be used as an audio interface. There's an option that you flip in there in a menu, and it becomes an audio interface. I use a small Zoom recorder to as a USB mic slash podcast mic when I do the pre-recording for my radio show that's on tomorrow night. So you better listen to that, you guys. Anyway, so that's the kind of handy things that are available to you. So back to presentation. Okay, so whatever instruments or devices you're going to play, whether if you have a microphone for doing ASMR type things, or if you have synthesizers and other stuff, you're obviously going to need that. Well, that didn't need to happen there. And then an internet connection. Now, that's where there has to be a few considerations. I've read that you should have at least a 5 megabit per second upward bandwidth, just so that, like, because usual internet connections are asymmetrical. You have a larger download speed than you do have an upload speed, because basically all we do is consume on the internet. But in the past few years, a lot of that has changed. Especially in the last year, now that everyone is communicating using the internet and doing video conferences and whatnot. But also other things like using Google Drive, Dropbox, things like that. It's nice to be able to upload your stuff up to the cloud in a prompt fashion. So, but anyway, a very zippy internet connection is very handy to have because it will help take care of these other two things here, latency. Depending on some of the conditions that you're going to be working under, the latency might almost be inescapable. If you're working with someone that's quite a fair distance away from you, like the internet distance might also be fairly great as well. It may look if it's over like 40 milliseconds or even 20 milliseconds, you'll notice a delay in whatever is being thrown back at you from your collaborator or other people, stuff like that. And the other problem, depending on the internet connection you have, is jitter. All of the stuff that we're witnessing, the video that we're looking at right now, the audio that we're hearing, is being kind of nicely couched in a protocol that ensures that all of the packets that make up the information that we're consuming get there at the right time. Things can happen that will cause that to break, and when that happens, you have jitter, and so you'll see little bits of hesitation and buffering and whatnot. And finally, as far as your internet connection is concerned, it's less of a case now with some of the newer Wi-Fi protocols, but it's often recommended that you use a wired connection for the computer that you're using to do your streaming. It's a bit more reliable. If you're in a house and you're sharing Wi-Fi with people, I know that in my home right now, with 3 people, a couple of smart TVs, and the various devices that we have, there's like 20 devices. They're not all, very active and uploading or downloading constantly, but they're all on the wireless network, so there's a possibility for some congestion, but that seems to be less likely now with some of the more modern Wi-Fi gear that people have in their homes. So I know this is about it said streaming audio, but like I think the eventuality is that if you're streaming audio, you're probably going to do some video content as well. So um, some easy ways to you know uh, procure some video content to put in on your audio stream is with the webcam built into your computer or an external one. Um, GoPro cameras can be used, but you need an HDMI converter. Same with digital SLR. Um, you can use a phone as a camera. There's an app called. There's a couple of apps. There's one called Filmic Pro, which I'm using for that overhead shot of my table that you saw there. Um, that's actually happening. That camera is actually an iPod running Filmic Pro, so it's sort of pricey for an iPhone iPod app, but it's well worth it because it's very handy. And then of course, like the other physical accessories like tripods and gorilla mounts and whatnot. Now the software part. Um, so one of the big things to use, like the crucial part, is an encoder. This is the software that helps join your audio and video and send it off to your whatever streaming host you choose. So you have OBS Studio and then Streamlabs OBS. Streamlabs OBS is a variant of OBS Studio that certainly looks a bit more streamlined and nice and modern and has a few little extras built in that are kind of nice. But there's also a few things that aren't built in that they make you subscribe for. So I can show that, but I don't think I will show it. I'm just going to stick with OBS Studio because OBS Studio is free, so that's probably the best way to do things. So I'm going to share an OBS screen right now. Okay, so that's kind of what OBS looks like. To set things up, to use a couple of cameras and whatnot, you need to create some scenes. So I have one called Headshot here, and that has my face on it. And then I have this one called Overhead, which is the stuff looking down on my table and my little controllers and whatnot. And then once scenes are created, you populate them with sources. And so in this case, I've got the webcam that's facing me and the audio input capture that I'll elaborate on a little bit later. And similarly with this, it's got my iPod and audio input capture. Once you've done that, you can do some basic transitions between scenes. If you saw that on that window right there. And there's a number of different transitions you can do. And you can also download additional ones and load them into a folder somewhere so you can have different things. You can also, if the spirit moves you, add various effects. And again, like there's a handful of them here, and I think you can also add a few more. There's at the OBS project website they have a forum, and there's a lot of links to download various plugins to do a lot of other things. Like if you need analytics, you can get a thing to do analytics. You can get overlays, like so for example, like the black area around me here could be covered with something with a logo or whatever, things like that. But before you do, then after you do a bunch of this stuff, you have to delve into settings, different things for audio, set things like the sample rate in which sources I'm using, the video, the base or the canvas resolution is kind of my desktop, and then the output is scaled down a fair bit. I could probably change that if I thought I could. It's not letting me. Maybe it's because I'm doing something right now, or maybe it's because I'm in studio mode. Or oh, it's because I'm using the virtual camera. Well, that's another interesting feature. Like the video that you're seeing from me is actually coming from OBS with a feature they have called the OBS virtual camera. So it's essentially acting like a camera for Zoom to detect and throw up the video for. Now let's get back to the presentation. So we have those two, and that's kind of the root of what you'd use to do streaming. Just to have all of your audio and video components set up and collected in one of these two pieces of software. Streamlabs OBS is definitely worth a look at, but as I said, there's one other thing to consider though too. Streamlabs OBS is forked from OBS Studio, and it gets things that happen in OBS Studio later, like because it takes them time to incorporate it into their kind of version of OBS. Like OBS Studio has had their virtual camera for some time, and I think they literally just got it a couple of months ago in Streamlabs. So where do you actually throw your content once you've started making it? YouTube, like all of YouTube and Facebook are probably two that people are more familiar with. Twitch is one that some may have, or maybe all of you have heard of. I don't know. Twitch is essentially a video network that caters to the gaming community, and people will play live streams of games that they're playing. Although in the past year they have seen a rather large uptick in musicians and musical groups, organizations using Twitch to live stream concerts. So that's kind of a nice thing like that. StreamYard, it's kind of a combination of OBS and one of these types of services, in that it's you actually sort of like a web-based OBS is the more correct way to look at it. You log in, you do your things. Although it's to get to a more elaborate stage and a bit more functionality, you do have to subscribe, but it works fairly well out of the box. And you would use it to stream to some of these other services. Similarly with Restream.io, it's you can stream to Restream.io, and it will rebroadcast to multiple services for you. I haven't tried any of those yet. I've only tried, I think, YouTube and Facebook. I haven't tried StreamYard, although for Art's birthday, Neutral Ground and the Dunlop, the collection of artists, of which Hillary was one of them, they used StreamYard, and I think it worked fair, and Ian as well, and I think it seemed to work fairly well. Any comment on that, you guys? Oh, Ian's giving me a so-so. Okay. All right.
I couldn't really hear myself.
Oh, is that right?
Like when I listened to the stream afterwards, I
Uh-huh.
think my levels were too low or something.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how one would go about kind of mediating that kind of thing. I haven't looked too closely at the interface for it, but yeah, I'm not sure how you go about kind of mixing a session in something like that. What's next? Oh, audio only streaming. Okay, I have another program I'm going to start here. This is a Mac only program, so it may not be that beneficial, but I'm going to show it anyway. Okay. Okay, so you should be seeing a couple of windows for audio hijack. Um, its initial purpose was mostly to record audio from other apps that you would have on your computer, like whether you wanted to record something directly off of a browser or some other thing, you can do that kind of thing with it. But they built in a live streaming facility to it, and I have to hang on. Sorry, I'm going to have to reshare here. So in this session, it goes to, like, it's coming from my digital audio workstation, an external mic going into their to the live stream module. And how does one configure that? So there's a few things that you can look at there. Since it's audio only, you don't get to combine video with it, but you can add a static image and a blurb and whatnot, and you can source it from wherever. You can source it, from like an audio player, from a digital audio workstation. You could probably funnel audio from an audio interface from your live rig into it and whatnot. And this is a fairly new feature for them, and I haven't tried it yet, but it's my aim to soon. Back to... And the other similar software that's like an open source thing is IceCast and ICES, that lets you run your own streaming server if you like. And I think Audio Hijack actually kind of uses IceCast as its underpinning. Well, we're going a bit faster than I thought we were going to. Any questions at this point, anyone? No?
Have you noticed any difference between the audio only and the audio video? Like, does video slow things down quite a bit, or?
I haven't done any of the audio only stuff yet. I would imagine that you could devote a bit more bandwidth to audio only, rather than combining audio and video.
Well, Jamulus would be audio only,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So collaboration. These three software that I'm indicating here are designed primarily for people working in studios and a producer or engineer working with an artist, at a distance, and allowing one to send audio to the other, kind of thing. I don't have Session Wire or Sound Whale opened, but I think I can load. Can at least load the Audio Movers plugin in Reaper and at least share that screen.
I think Gary wants to ask a question.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to ask a question.
Well, it's maybe coming up, but you're talking about collaboration. Is there any such thing as latency-free collaboration on the internet?
I don't think there could be.
I,
unless
I keep
um,
hearing that. That's why I ask. I don't think
yeah,
it could be either, you know?
I find that kind of hard to swallow personally as well,
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
because like it takes time to do things on the internet.
Well, the
Um,
internet, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just loading a project into Reaper that that uses the Audio Mover plugin.
Okay. I only ask because I keep hearing that. I find it hard to believe.
Like
I thought maybe you've gone through all these parameters and there's something that tricks it somehow,
well,
but
that's entirely possible.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, here. Um, okay, so this black slab here, you can see this screen here with like it looks like an audio workstation, right? So that's the Audio Movers plugin. Um, you have to get an account. You can log into it, and you can tell it some audio, some quality. Like like we for this particular session, we just kind of uh, hedged low and just used 192 kilobits per second. Um, you can have up to 10 clients kind of listening to this. Um, it's not meant for, as I said, it's not meant for jamming, but you can send to multiple listeners. Like and depending on the account you can have up to 10, which is like I think, and this is another thing that you have to pay for. Um, it's but you can kind of buy it by the week kind of thing, and it's cheap. It's like $5 or $10 a week or something like that. To you know if you're doing like a recording session and you're working through things, and you can have for that time, or you can subscribe monthly if you're using it with that kind of frequency. But it did its job, and it supplied us with some good sounding audio. We didn't have like the best latency, as you can see there. 500 sec, 0.5 seconds is a long time, but we did get the job done that particular day, so it works fairly well. Um, the other session wire and sound whale, which I was talking about before, are really a lot. Those two have built-in video conferencing as well, so that you can, the engineer can see the artist that's working. They can kind of watch things that are going on. And I think it's sound whale has like a really elaborate control panel that lets you control a mix as well, and it almost requires two monitors to use, just because of the way it works.
Um,
Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
oh, I was just curious, like what the application for this is. You have an engineer in one city, and you have a singer or
Yeah,
musician or like
yeah,
session
exactly,
musicians in like
exactly.
different places.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wonder how that works. Like, can they communicate in any
Well, with
way?
audio movers, they tell you that you should probably have something like Zoom or Discord happening as well, just so that you can um, have some audio feedback and kind of a side chain, like voice thing happening as well, right?
Mhm,
I think Session Wire and Soundwhale might also have like a talkback channel built in,
mhm.
but like
It's
Audio Movers certainly has nothing like that.
it's kind of weird because normally an engineer would be able to control everything by having like choosing a microphone, having a space that they is
Yeah,
acoustically
I know.
dampened and all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
And now we have like everybody has to have their own microphone and their
yeah,
own space. It seems
yes.
like
It's kind of a bizarre way to run that part of the music industry, but I'm thinking that that people that are using like the session wire and sound whale are at an echelon in the music industry where an artist might have a small well-equipped studio at home with even like one of those little mini vocal booth things
Hmm.
that sit on a desk or a mic stand or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that, and they might, and if they've got crap like that, they probably got decent mics. And if they can afford to have an engineer working on the other side of the continent who probably isn't cheap by the hour, chances are they probably got good gear at home too. That's just a hunch. So there's that. And now this is kind of some of the fun stuff that we were um, playing with last month. Sorry, I need to share that again. So there are softwares that exist that allow groups of people to join together on the internet and have a jam, as it were. Um, like they could be in on different continents, and they'll have to deal with what they're dealing with as far as latency goes. But it's totally doable, and there's a couple of different ways to skin that cat. Um, the first one on the list is Jamulus. I picked this one to be at the start because it seems to be the favorite of multiplay, and I can kind of see why. It's very easy to use, and it's simple to run and install. And so I'm going to just get it started here. Okay, you should see a couple of screens on top of the presentation there. Um, the first one is the kind of the main control panel that you see when you start. Um, there's a kind of a built-in reverb. It's not the best, but it's that little bit of confidence building reverb that's not unlike singing in the shower, I suppose. So it's there for that purpose. And once you've connected to a server, which you can pick from a list here, from places and they're listed by their ping times. So these guys in this sort of olive green here are some of the better times, and once it starts to get into red, it's going to be kind of dicey to use. And you can actually also install Jamulus server software on your computer and kind of have a self-contained thing. So that's just you and your pals doing your thing. And I've done that with the other Holophon pals, and it works fairly well. It's fairly easy. As you can see, there's really not much to deal with here. I guess you have to um, sort out where your input is coming from. So if you have, if you can presently, I've got a whole schwack of different audio devices on this computer because of this meeting and whatnot. So you'd pick the appropriate one, make sure that it's stereo or whatever, and get it sorted out. And once you're connected, you can see your other collaborators in this window as well, and which server we're on, and it works fairly well.
Could you just open it up that window again? I just wanted to.
Which the preferences?
Yeah.
Sure.
So do you know what this in the corner is with the buffer delay and these are
This
the latencies you could
that
choose?
just kind
Or?
of helps you a little bit with to deal with some of the latency. Some of it matters more on different operating systems. Like I know when you do the hover over here, it says a particular thing about Windows and Linux and whatnot.
Okay.
And then once you are connected, it does tell you some statistics about your connection in these blanks right here. Next up is Ninjam. So I'm going to bring up Reaper again. So here we are back in the Reaper digital audio workstation. Now the company that makes Reaper also makes this Ninjam plugin. Ninjam allows you again to collaborate. You can run your own server or join a server out of a list once it acquires it. And one of the special things about Ninjam is when you get started, this in this black band at the bottom, a count starts. So it's essentially got a metronome for you. So I guess that's its way of helping you deal with latency. You know, so that you can maybe see if people are counting off to that metronome, and you can sort of blend in with them. Once you've joined, your channels are there. The people you're jamming with are on these remote channels here, and you can see their mixes. And so if it's in Reaper, you can kind of record everything quite handily. Yes, Ian?
Could we join one and just hear what it sounds like?
Oh, sure. I'm gonna find that other. Did I save that other project that we were in? That's the one I want to load. Yeah. No. Remember, we had to do something different with the way we placed Ninjam and stuff, right?
I think it had to be in effects, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think we had to. I know what to do. I can just add another track. And
To be like a child of the.
It had to be. Yeah, it had to be. Ninjam actually had to be in here. Okay, that's nothing in there. Good. Okay, so Ninjam is now in that on this kind of parent channel here, and now I need to. Well, I can. I'm not going to be able to. It's because of the way my stuff is hooked up to OBS and whatnot. I can't hook up my KMix to it. But regardless, we should still be able to, connect to a server and see each other. Did you want to do that, Ian, or?
Oh, I was thinking of just trying one of the servers of the public ones,
Oh yeah, yeah,
where we
exactly,
could just
exactly.
listen to someone jamming in Paraguay or somewhere.
Oh, couldn't load that plugin. Oh, it's because it's there. Only one instance. There we go. Yeah, and see, as you can see in the listing, they, as talking about the metronome, and they have BPMs and measure lengths listed.
That one that's 7 of 8 looks like there's 7 people are in there already.
Terms and conditions.
Nope, disconnected.
And it bumped me already.
Maybe it's like exclusive.
Oh, that could, yeah, it could be private. And it bumped me there too.
It says at the bottom, invalid login password.
Oh, so I guess these are all private then. Oh, here's something that
That's
might work.
a public one.
No, okay. So yeah, that's another way to not have like a non-stop guitar soloist jump into your jam, is because you have to have credentials to get in. So I've been showing off Ninjam here. It's as I indicated, it's built into Reaper because it's the same company that develops it. But what if you don't run Reaper as your digital audio workstation? What do you do? Do I actually install that? No, I didn't. Jam. Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. There's another group of people who have taken it upon themselves to essentially make that Ninjam server as a separate program. I'm going to install it quickly here and we'll run it.
So maybe after this we could get on Jamulus and
Yeah, maybe.
experiment. Probably have a short break between.
Sure.
I feel like half of the thing is just trying to get the networking part of things to work.
The networking is a tricky thing. Like you heard me mention that us holophon fellows were trying out Jamulus on our own. I ran the Jamulus server on my computer here. I had to dive into the menus of my firewall and do port forwarding so that I could. Okay. So here you can see Jam Taba. It's the main screen that you pull up, which is it's kind of cool. It has a map with all of the locations and whatnot on it. So and you can actually kind of listen to one. I'm not sure what it's trying to connect to, but it still says it's connecting. Oh boy. I'm sorry, people. I should have done this part last night. I could have sworn that I had installed this, but all I did was download it. In any event, Jamtaba is a standalone Ninjam client that uses the same video encoding, audio encoding that Ninjam does. So it's compatible in that way. And it also has a video component too. So it's found my loopback audio, built-in output.
What happens if you just click the listen button?
I tried that, and it does that.
Oh,
Ah, here we go. There's somebody doing their thing.
can you turn it up a bit?
Oh, I see what's going on. All of these names and flags are the users on this particular server that's listed up here. Okay, cool.
So did the musicians just communicate with music?
There is a chat.
That
It's a public chat. I think there's probably a chat with the in the individual server as well. You can do video.
mhm.
You can see me at the bottom there right now.
Oh yeah, now I can. Can you turn it up at all? It's very quiet on the Zoom. I don't know if it's possible to turn it up.
Let me see if I can do it in the loop back. No, I don't think I can.
Okay. It's very cool. I think the idea of people just playing music together as a way of communicating is very interesting.
Oh,
I
that
feel
would
like
be
it's
that would
just
be
so
kind of interesting
weird
to
that
do.
people, and there's these people from all different countries who maybe don't speak the same language,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
could like play music together. It's
Well,
fascinating.
I imagine you might derive, um, certain cues that maybe after X number of bars you might consider, changing a key, or doing something else, or maybe you even drop out and let someone else take a solo or something like that. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so we covered those. One that I literally just discovered this week is called Sonobus, which is it's along the same lines as Jamulus and Ninjam Jamtaba. It's got a very fancy, modern-looking interface. The difference is that like you log into a server, but all that the server does is provide the locations, like the internet addresses of the other people you want to jam with, and then connects you, and you're essentially using peer-to-peer audio. I'm not sure how that works when there's more than a couple of people, but that sort of seems to be what they're rolling with there. And as I said, I literally just found out about it this week. Haven't tried it out, but I'm kind of keen to try it. And I think our little Holophon Jam group is going to hopefully try that soon at some point and see how well that works. And then you'll see I have a couple of other things listed there. Discord. Discord is a sort of a chat server community. Again, another internet kind of service that is centered around the gaming community, but there are also like art servers on there, music servers and whatnot, and it actually has enough functionality that if you run your own server, you can actually do an audio jam on it with video as well. And it worked reasonably well. Ian, any thoughts on how it worked for you?
I thought it was a little simpler
Yeah,
to
yeah,
set
for
up,
sure it was.
and I thought it was. I liked the video aspect of it,
Yeah,
and yeah, it was easy.
yeah, and again, you've got a chat to engage with if you don't want to be blabbing at somebody while you're doing your thing. And I know I kind of enjoyed it too. And then we have the platform that we're presently on, Zoom. It's not really thought of as a high quality audio platform, but if you ever look at the configuration things behind that little gear, um, you'll see under the audio section that they have a thing called high quality audio, and they also make sure that you can do things in stereo. So they have made some concession to people either jamming or having a small kind of salon style concert with a few people, or maybe more. I'm not sure how many. Does anybody know off the top of their head what's the capacity of a Zoom meeting, like people wise?
I think you can have like upwards of 100.
I
Oh
think
wow.
it's 200, and then you're able to then move into a webinar.
Okay.
So
Wild. Yeah, so you could essentially have a Zoom concert. Well, I guess churches are now doing things on Zoom, and like if everybody does indeed go to church the way they actually say they do, then there might be some pretty big Zoom meetings. Um, so there are there's a couple of things if you're going to use Zoom. Make sure that you turn on the high quality audio feature. What that does is it, in addition, there's another thing called turn on original sound, or have the option. It'll show a little button on the upper left to turn on original sound. Now, what that does is it turns off all of the noise gating, and there's some other filtering that goes on so that you actually hear what's happening from the source. And one other thing that one should be careful of if they're going to be using Zoom in this way is if you are plugging in your audio interface and Zoom is seeing that, if you have an audio interface that has more than 2 channels, it presently kind of confuses the Zoom audio engine, and it will squish. Let's say, for example, you have an audio interface and you have 8 channels, of whatever. it will squish all of those down into an ugly mono mix. So if you can somehow mix down to stereo before giving it to Zoom, it's probably a smarter thing to do. Well, that's it for the official part. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want me to go over anything that I had previously covered?
There was something I wanted to ask about. Could you just show us how you're like routing sound in your
On my
on your
computer?
Mac? Yeah, on your Mac,
Okay.
because I've done this a couple times, and every time I do it, it's more confusing than the last.
Right.
And I always have to look at a whole bunch of tutorials, and it
Yeah.
just seems
Yeah.
like the worst system in the
Um,
world. But I'm just
um,
curious what you're doing.
okay, sure.
You don't have to explain it, but I'm just
No,
like,
no, no. I totally get it because it can be really confounding. So I'm going to share another thing here. Where are we at? Ta-da! Okay. I solved it by throwing money at it. I bought this program called Loopback. Now there are a couple of other programs in at least the Apple world. One is called Soundflower,
yeah,
and
I've
there's
used
another
that one.
one, then Black Hole,
Got that one.
and then there's this. This is a commercial product, um, and you can tell it what you make a loopback audio device, and so like when I was sending audio to OBS, it was essentially getting the output from this program, which was combining the built-in microphone, the little mic on my headset here, the output of my KMix mixer slash audio interface, and then ultimately sending them to the built-in output so I could monitor it, and also to the Zoom audio device so that you guys can hear it. And it doesn't allow you to do a lot of stuff with what you've got. I muted my little muted this stuff here before, but it's a lot more no nonsense than I found in Sunflower or Black Hole. Like I'm not sure if there are a couple of different variations of Black Hole. I think there's like a 2-channel one or a 16-channel one,
16, yeah.
and I couldn't quite, like, I needed more than 2, and the 16 one was very weird the way it worked, and it didn't kind of sort out stuff the way I wanted it to. So I actually splurged on this.
So with the K mix, you've got 8 channels, and you're just
Yeah,
using 2 right now. Is that your
yeah.
like stereo mix down?
Those are the outputs essentially.
Okay, so you could patch it like to 3 and 4, or
Yeah, yeah,
if there was something you had like multiple things plugged into
yeah,
your mixer.
yeah. Like
Cool.
the way I'm using it right now, outputs 7 and 8 are essentially an effect send, and I'm sending them to another device, so I could patch that in if I wanted to. Add a couple more channels here, kind of thing, or not, just kind of patch them into these two and let them have at it.
And how much does that cost?
I think it was $100. Not particularly cheap, but it's eminently useful.
Hmm.
Especially for dealing with a lot of the things that I've been talking about tonight.
Yeah, I kind of just wished I kind of would just I kind of just thought that Apple would have a really simple way. Like, this looks fairly clear.
Yeah.
And then for some reason there's a lot of like messing around with they've got
Well, none of
aggregate.
like yeah. Oh, the
aggregate
aggregate audio. Yeah, yeah,
aggregate
exactly.
devices, and then they have the other one. Um, and you just sort of you don't feel like I don't feel like it's very user friendly, but I feel like with Apple it
I
could
feel like
be.
this is kind of duplicating that aggregate interface function, but in a more controllable way.
Mm.
But like all I know is that since I've been using this, I haven't had the headaches that I had before.
Does anybody else have any questions? Well, we could,
Should I fire up the Jamulus server?
yeah. So,
Okay.
if anyone wants to try it, we could keep this Zoom going, or I could keep it going, and then if people want to leave, to, I don't know if it would conserve bandwidth or not. If Jamulus and Zoom going at the same time, would that be a
Um,
problem?
I'm not sure what the deal will be with that. I think
Okay.
let's just see what happens and
I think it's very cool to try it because the sound quality is better, right? And especially if you're wearing headphones,
yes,
and you're listening to people talk, even just talking through the like a laptop microphone. It's quite spooky. I found when we used it last time. So why don't you set up the Jamulus server? Tell us what to do, how to connect to it, and then people can go off Zoom and then connect. We can all connect
sure.
at
Yeah,
Jamulus.
there's also a text chat as well, so we can kind of keep in touch that way too.
I'm gonna
I
try to
just want
record
to
this too.
Maybe I've got a question. Now it
yeah.
occurs to me. Discord. Like I looked around Twitch, I got orientated immediately. Discord, I couldn't quite grasp what is it like Twitch, but behind more of a firewall or something?
I'm not sure if it's exactly like Twitch. I feel like that Discord is more like um, a when you join up, you build your own server, like
Oh,
a chat server. So like let's say,
okay.
like I built one, and then the Hall of Fun guys got together and jammed on it. So you could, you'd when you set it up, you kind of talk about what your server is about and whatnot, and you kind of indicate that it's like a music server or whatnot, and you can make it private, sort of thing as well.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
I think it's like it's kind of like an instant messenger, right?
Yeah,
So you can have a
Okay.
community, and
Okay.
then they've added things to it, and it's
So
like a chat.
like Twitch to me just seemed wide open. It looked like there's lots of really fun stuff on
yeah,
Twitch, but this Discord sounds like it's a little more.
The
Uh,
the way that I found Discord was because there was a community that was around a podcast, and so the
okay.
podcast
oh yeah,
they put their Discord server whatever
Okay.
info out, and then you join it. So
So
I think
you're
it's
going there a little more topic specific
yeah,
as opposed
yeah,
to
I think so.
like you can graze through the Twitch thing and there's a
Yeah,
lot of crazy stuff, but I can actually, listen to some of
you
it.
can
yeah.
navigate.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Discord you kind of have to already know what you're looking
Okay.
for.
That
Maybe
explains it because I wasn't
I
quite
I honestly don't use it very much except
okay.
for this
I wasn't
testing.
feeling it the same way as Twitch seemed to be
Yeah,
open, Yeah. Okay.
I think
Thanks.
we should. Yeah, I think we should try it later though. So Ernie, what do you want us to do?
Well, I'm going to the what's my IP thing so I can find my IP address out for you guys. So when you if you have the Jamulus client installed and you open it and you hit connect, there should be a place to connect to a custom server, and you can enter this IP address in 199.189.91.120.
Just to back up here, let's just go to what's the Jamulus. This is the address, right? The website to go to. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Oh, sure.
Jamulus.io. And then you can download whichever version, Windows, Mac, or Linux.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open up my client. I can find it. Oh, actually, I don't have it on here. It's on the other computer. So then it's going to take you to the SourceForge page where it's hosted. I've downloaded my Jamulus DMG file, which installs it for the Mac. I'm going to drag. So there's two little cloud things. One says Jamulus server, one says Jamulus. Drag Jamulus into the applications. And then go to your applications. Find Jamulus. Oh, if you're running a Mac and you're getting that error, there's a window that pops up. Jamulus can't be opened because it is from an unidentified developer. You right click and then choose open.
On the app itself, in your app folder.
Yeah, and then you say open again, and then it's like because it's not an official Apple, I guess, developed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then Ernie, why don't you put the address, your address, in the chat?
Oh, good
instead
idea.
of
Good idea.
So I'm gonna click the connect button.
Oh, one other nerdy thing that I like about Jamulus is that, like when you're running the server, you can turn a recorder on and record everything. And is that you, Ian? And when you're done, it makes a Reaper project file for you. So you just open that in Reaper, and you can have everybody's tracks there laid out for you. You can do a mix.
I think I'm connected to your server.
Let's see.
I'm no name.
Oh yeah, there you are. Cool. Yeah.
Or is that someone else?
Let's see. No, I think that is you. I think that is you. I think I remember your IP address from last time.
How do you change your name again?
I think you can just
settings. No. Where is that?
Yeah, where was that? I don't remember where that happened either.
My profile? There it is.
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, now I see Ian. Cool. Should I share my Jamulus screens? I'm just going to shut that down until Ian figures
Can you hear me?
disappeared there, and I don't know if he's making any noises or not yet. Probably hooking something up from his vast collection of Casios. I can see Ian trying to make a sound, but I can't hear them. I wonder if that's got anything to do with my... Oh, and he's back.
Hmm. Not sure what's going on, but I can't see you as a server when I look in the other
Oh,
servers.
yeah, I don't, it's a private server.
Oh,
So, so when you go to when you go to connect, there
mhm.
should be a place to enter a custom address or something like that.
Okay.
Or it might be in
I,
the settings. No, it's when you go to connect, there should be a separate place to enter a server.
that's what I tried at first, and then so I just entered the IP,
Yeah.
and then it just said trying to connect for a really long time.
Oh,
And then so I just went to try and search it in the servers, so I can see other servers.
yeah. Mine's set up as private, so it won't be in
Mhm.
the list.
Okay. I wonder what's going on.
No, if Ian's connecting, that means my firewall is still set up to allow that. So that's a good thing. Um,
Hmm. I wonder. I mean, I wonder if I have something set up. That's not what I mean. Hmm.
I've disconnected, and I just kind of go through what I do to connect. Like, so it brings up that connection setup list, right? And it's got all the servers listed there. And then at the bottom, there's a place to enter a server address right
Yeah.
there. And so like the IP address that I have in there is because I'm on my own network kind of thing. So, but in your case, you would enter um, that that one that I put in the chat.
Hmm. Yeah. Seems like it should work.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, and mine. Yeah, I'm on Windows, so it looks a little different,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
it still has the area to do that. And I've triple checked. I haven't made a typo. I don't think. Oh my gosh, I did make a typo.
Oh.
But I wrote it down wrong. I was writing it as you were saying.
Oh, okay.
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 See.
Oh, there you are.
Yay.
Oh, right on.
Yay. I thought there was something with my computer because actually I had to download because I missed a little bit of what you were saying at the end because I had to
Mm-hmm.
download a different driver to
Oh,
be
sure.
able
Okay.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
run it. So, but it seems to be working now. Yay.
Now I can see Ian doing stuff, but for some reason, the way I've got my channels mapped or something, I can't hear it through all of this. I wonder if I could do if I did a pass-through thing with feedback.
Mm-hmm.
On pass-through. So maybe if I do that, I can hear you guys then. Okay, I think I got myself set up now. I can hear you now, Ian. Is that you singing?
For Ian singing?
I think that was Ian singing.
Oh, I can't. I don't think I heard him.
Oh, this is not working. Test. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me on
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I can't, like, could you guys hear me through Jamulus? Because I'm so confused.
I was seeing like some signal come up on your channel.
How could there be? How could there be signal and nothing? Test.
Yeah, there we go. That really sent the meter up.
Not through that. Not through this mic though. Through this mic.
Okay. Oh, you got two mics going with all the delay fun that happens when that happens. That's cool. That's cool. I like it.
I'm just getting no. Like I can't tell if anyone can hear me on Jamulus.
I think I can hear you on Jamulus.
Yeah, I thought I could. It was kind of quiet. But then, actually, I guess I don't know if I was hearing it through.
I've been muted. I've been muted on Zoom this whole time.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it had to come through Jamulus. It's just I don't understand why it's not louder. I'm gonna go back to Jamulus exclusively here.
Yeah. I'm also seeing for mine nothing is showing up like on the level. Like not even my voice. Should my voice even be showing up?
Should be. Are you using the built-in mic on your computer?
No, I'm using a built-in thing on the webcam right
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah. I do have a separate mic here.
You might have to go into your settings and select what your devices are and stuff for your sound card.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with this new driver.
I'm definitely hearing you through Jamulus, Ian.
Definitely hearing Ian through Jamulus.
I heard that. What's that little object you've got, Hillary?
Pardon?
What's that little object that you're making a sound with?
Oh, just a kind
Oh,
of
okay.
a massaging thing.
Okay, I think I remember that from Art's birthday. Did you have that for Art's birthday as well?
Not sure if I used this, but it was nearby.
I can't hear you, Hillary, through the Jamulus.
Yeah, I'm in various settings in my computer, and I don't know what's wrong.
I can't seem to get mine to work either. So, and I know my settings pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I just don't understand why you guys can't hear me, but I can see the levels going. Is it because, like, Ernie, I have my ping is.
I'm hearing you in both places now because I can hear an echo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I am hearing yours, Ian, but it is very really low.
It's distant.
Yeah.
Like, what mic are you using for Jamulus? Okay.
Oh.
Well, was it? Well, it sounded okay there. Maybe it was just too far away before. Oh yeah, wind noise, too crazy. Distortion, crackly business. Little mics don't need to be blown on that hard. Yeah, you're definitely there. You're definitely there on Jamulus.
Coming through this mic now.
Okay.
So my overall delay is around 50, 55, 58.
Yeah, that's what mine is too.
That's okay.
Yeah, it must be.
It's got a yellow dot beside it. Does that yellow mean bad?
It means if it gets worse, then it would be bad for what we're doing.
Okay. anyways, I can hear. I think I can hear.
Can you hear some little arpeggios from me?
In this here, yes,
Yeah,
but
okay, okay.
let me just try these.
Okay. Nice.
Mm.
Ian, do you just have that mic plugged into an audio interface or what? That's a bit louder there.
Can you hear my strings?
Yeah, I could hear them before.
Can you hear them now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to try going from the Focusrite to
Sure.
the
Oh, okay.
laptop
Yeah.
mic. So now I just
Right.
have the strings on top of the laptop.
Okay.
I'm using the built-in microphone, built-in output.
That doesn't sound half bad, really, for the built-in mic.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the quality. Hillary, what are your settings set to under device?
I mean, I think I think that's where I'm in right now. My device says it's listing a driver that I just installed. So it's SEO for all.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what it should be?
That's probably one of the more useful things that you could be using right now for sure. I don't know much about like Windows stuff, but whenever I see people talking about setting this kind of stuff up, ASIO for all is the one to use.
So I have that installed, but now I'm kind of in the settings for that driver.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think that kind of brings that sort of sound flower black hole type functionality where you can do routing of ins and outs and stuff like that a bit better on Windows than is normally possible.
If you wanted to, you could share your screen and we could look at it. See if we can navigate through. I think you'd have, I think if I gave you, or I think if Ernie gave you the hosting capability, or
okay, you're the host now, so you should be able to share your screen, Hillary. Aha, yeah.
Sorry, I have
it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Okay, there's the Jeremy list window. Can you click on settings, or did you already do that? Let's see where it says mute myself, and then there's a.
It's right there. It's right there.
Window.
Okay, good.
I see. And your device, and if you click but where it says SEO for all V2, what else is there? Oh, there's just one. Oh,
just the one now. There can be only one.
Interesting.
So, do you guys have like your mics there, or what do you have there?
I think you'd have to go into your ASIO for all control panel. So you've got it up here. So you've got your Yeti mic, is that the one you're using presently?
Yeah, I just plugged this one in.
Okay.
And then there's a little plus sign. Yeah. Oh, what's that X mean? Status active.
Capture status unavailable.
Okay, so it says it's being used by another application. So if you're running your Yeti to Zoom, you might have to stop going to Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Because it can't do two at once, maybe.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Should I just stop Zoom?
If you click on Zoom and go to the preferences, you could just not use that same microphone.
I get kind of tripped out with screen sharing.
Okay, if you want, you could stop screen sharing and then just look under Zoom and see if you can find where you could I guess you could stop Zoom. Just close Zoom, and then it might free it up.
Okay.
We might not see you again.
Well, I should go soon anyways, but I'll disconnect and then I'll see
Yeah, give it a try.
if
Yeah.
it works. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna stop recording this. And that concludes this workshop.